The retirement party is the most dangerous day of your life. For many, the gold watch is a timer, and when it starts, the body begins a quiet countdown to zero. You've seen it. The powerful executive who runs a global division for 40 years retires on a Friday and is gone within 18 months. By the end of this, you'll understand the biological mechanism behind this collapse. It's a distinction between two ways of living that determines your health span far more than diet or exercise. And the life you're building right now is programming that switch, for better or for worse. The story usually goes like this. A person climbs a ladder. We call it a career. It has defined rungs, clear rules, and a scoreboard measured in titles and salary bumps. It provides structure, it provides an identity. You are a senior vice president, you are a tenured professor. You are a partner at the firm. These are external labels, rented from an institution. The problem is, you can be evicted at any time. Retirement, a layoff, a restructuring. The institution takes the label back. The game board is put away. And the person who has spent a lifetime identifying with their piece on that board suddenly has nowhere to stand. The phone stops ringing. The flood of emails dries to a trickle. The sense of importance, of being needed, evaporates. This is more than a psychological shock, it's a physiological event. The body interprets this sudden loss of identity and structure as a terminal threat. The signal that says, there is a reason to get up tomorrow, goes quiet. When that signal disappears, a critical maintenance process inside every one of your cells begins to shut down. But this process isn't just about retirement. It's running, or failing, inside you right now. That maintenance process centers on tiny protective caps at the ends of your DNA called telomeres. Think of them as the plastic tips on a shoelace. As long as they're intact, the shoelace holds together. When they fray and shorten, the lace unravels. Your DNA is the same. Every time a cell divides, the telomeres get a little shorter. Shorter telomeres are directly linked to faster aging, heart disease, and a weakened immune system. It's a biological clock ticking down. But there's an enzyme called telomeres that can rebuild these caps. It adds length back, effectively slowing the aging clock. So what triggers telomeres? A sense of purpose, a genuine, internally driven reason for being. Conversely, chronic stress, anxiety, and a feeling of being trapped do the opposite. They release hormones that actively inhibit telomeres, accelerating the fraying of your DNA. The dull, persistent dread of a Sunday night, the tension in your shoulders during a pointless meeting, that's the feeling of your telomeres shortening. It's a low-dose poison administered daily. The career you endure for a future reward is actively eroding the future you hope to enjoy, but the final shock of losing that career identity is like a massive, acute dose of that same poison. The system overloads. So, if the career is a trap, what does the alternative look like on a biological level? The alternative is a calling. A career is a ladder you climb. A calling is a fire you tend. A career is defined by what you get: money, status, approval. A calling is defined by what you give: your curiosity, your effort, your unique contribution. The validation for a career is external. It comes from your boss, your clients, your industry. The validation for a calling is internal. It's the quiet satisfaction of solving a hard problem, the feeling of flow when you're deep in your craft, the knowledge that you are building something that matters to you. Imagine two basketball players. One has a lucrative career in the NBA. He has contracts, endorsements, a team, a stadium full of fans. His identity is NBA star. The day he retires, all of that disappears. He is no longer what he was. The other person simply loves the game of basketball. He plays every weekend at the local park. He coaches a youth team. He'll be shooting hoops when he's 75, whether anyone is watching or not. His identity is a person who plays basketball. One identity is rented, the other is owned. This distinction shows up in global longevity data. In Japan, they have a word for this concept: ikigai. It translates roughly to a reason for being. Studies on the long-lived populations in Okinawa found that a strong sense of ikigai was a more powerful predictor of a long life than almost any other factor. People with a clear ikigai had dramatically lower rates of mortality from all causes. Their bodies had a reason to keep the cellular repair shop open. The fire was still burning. This all sounds wonderful, but it creates a new kind of pressure. The idea of finding your calling feels like searching for a mythical treasure. It suggests it's a single, perfect thing, hidden somewhere, and if you haven't found it, you've failed. That entire framework is wrong. Callings are built. They are forged brick by brick through a feedback loop. It begins with curiosity, a small spark of interest in something. You follow that spark with action. You read a book, take a class, start a small project. This action leads to a tiny bit of mastery. You get slightly better. You learn a new skill. That small bit of mastery then becomes useful either to yourself or to someone else. This is service. The positive feedback from that service, seeing your skill make a small difference, fuels more curiosity. The flywheel starts to spin. A graphic designer gets curious about typography on old book covers. She starts a side project cataloging them. That action builds her mastery of historical design. She starts sharing her findings online. Other designers find it useful. That's service. Their encouragement fuels her curiosity to dig deeper. 10 years later, she's the world's leading authority on the subject, consulting for museums and major publishers. She didn't find that calling. She built it, one Saturday at a time. Your purpose is a direction of travel. It is a process of becoming. You just need to find a problem that is interesting enough to be worth solving. But what if your current life feels a million miles away from any potential calling? The temptation is to make a radical leap. The lawyer dreams of quitting to become a carpenter. The accountant wants to open a bakery. This is usually a mistake. Blowing up your life introduces massive financial stress, which is the fastest way to kill the fragile flame of curiosity required to build a calling. You can't be creative when you're terrified about making rent. The solution is to work with the adjacent possible. You can't jump from your current reality to the dream in one move, but you can always take one step. For the lawyer, the adjacent possible isn't quitting the firm. It's signing up for a weekend woodworking class. It's building a wobbly bookshelf in his garage. It's fixing a broken chair for a neighbor. He can explore the craft, start the flywheel of mastery and service on a small, low-risk scale. The goal is to create a biological counter-narrative. The career can continue to pay the bills, but the hours spent on the calling, however few, are sending a different signal to the body. They are a declaration that your identity is more than your job title. You are building an anchor inside yourself, independent of the external world. Each small action is a deposit in your biological resilience account. It's a quiet investment in your future self, the one who will exist long after the career is over. This process is slow, but as the flywheel gains momentum, it begins to exert a strange gravitational pull on everything else. Here is the final distinction. A career makes your identity fragile. It's a single point of failure. When it's gone, you're gone. A calling makes your identity anti-fragile. It's a distributed network of skills, interests, and contributions that can't be taken from you. You own it, and as that internal sense of self gets stronger, it starts to change your relationship with your career. The job's daily frustrations feel less significant. The office politics seems smaller. You begin to see the career for what it is. A tool, a funding mechanism for the person you are becoming. This detachment is a superpower. You can take more risks at work because your ego is no longer on the line. You can speak more honestly. You can navigate challenges with more grace because your core self is anchored somewhere else entirely. Your career may have been the ship you set sail on, but the calling is the harbor you're building, piece by piece, that will be there waiting for you no matter what storm comes. The question is a smaller one than you think. It's not, what is my grand purpose? It is, what is one small thing I'm curious enough about to build, to master, to tend to? The answer to that question, pursued over time, is what separates a life that ends with a career from a life that is just beginning. And that same distinction between a rented identity and an owned one explains why some people rebuild after a crisis while others are broken by it. A different kind of longevity entirely.